Okay. There you go, sweet Seema. You ready, Roberta?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you're ready. Okay, so just you're a primary school teacher. Tell me what it's like at the moment. Tell me what you think it's like in Lombardy at the moment.
Right. At the moment, the situation in Lombardy, from the teaching point of view, is as follows. Basically, on Monday, we're starting our 5th week of virtual school. For the past 4 weeks, well, the first time they closed the schools, it was for a week. So we all, trotted along and thought, yeah, well, there we are, we can do this. And we started doing it. And now on the 5th week, we realized that the replica of the school that we were trying to do, we were basically trying to replicate what we were doing face to face with the kids on a computer, and we didn't really realize the implication that this has. Now, over the weeks, obviously, we've been talking to each other, we've been talking to the children, we've been talking to the parents, and we realized of the impact that this has been having on all of us. It is virtually impossible to be able to give the same type of service that you are offering when you are face to face. You need to take into considerations that children have got an impact in terms of they feel abandoned and they don't have their routine. So this is one of the major issues that children will have. One of the things that we have come to understand is that the most important things for us as teacher is not so much the content of the curriculum or, teaching math and English and literacy and this. What is extremely important is that we are there for them. This has got a lot of implication. There was a particularly interesting article recently on the Il Sole 24 Ore, which is the financial newspaper of Italy, is the equivalent of the Financial Times, of the dean of the University of Padua. She is a developmental psychologist. She's called Daniela Lucangeli, and she was saying that where before technology used to be the escape from relationship, from face-to-face relationship, and therefore it was psychologically damaging children. Now technology is the only mean that we have to keep up with our communication with each other.
Tell me, tell me, what do you think the mental health impact has been on children?
Well, the fact that the adults of referral, teachers in particular, are able to actually enter into their home has been in very small children. I'm a primary school teacher. I deal with 3 to 11 years old. It's been quite interesting because we started to call them not the first week, the second week of closure of the school, and we realized that the relief they felt on listening to our voices, knowing that we were safe, first of all, because obviously, children are realize that this is a very weird and bizarre situation that is not what happens normally, and is not common. So children are really concerned about the adults that they love, and so it was actually moving. We all end up in tears the first time that we talked to our kids through the computers, because they were all, oh my God, you are there, you are safe, and they were all excited to see us, and so were we, to be honest. And then it was the first week, it was all, oh look, oh I like your picture behind you, Miss Roberta, or oh look, I'll show you my cat, and it was all about these type of things, obviously during the to begin with. Now things have subsided. They are becoming more accustomed to the fact that we are there, we are safe, we see them weekly, daily, depending on, I'm a specialist teacher, so I see my classes weekly. My colleagues, that they are classroom teachers, they see them regularly. But the impact on children has been really, to begin with, they were scared, I think, of their reality being taken away from them. Being able to actually deliver reality through a computer, even if he's obviously on a completely different scale, has been particularly important.
And the negative impacts. I mean, have you seen any evidence of them feeling depressed or anxious? Because there must be some. I mean, they're not going out as much.
No, I have to say that I work in a private school. I work in an international school. So the children that I am seeing at the moment are all children that have got enough spaces in their houses not to feel the constraint of it, and also the fact that they have enough space to be able to survive. One of the things that has been on the news quite a lot here is how to survive these forced cohabitations with your family, which we are not used to, of course. And one of the suggestions that has been made by psychologists is that every and each of us keeps his own space. And we all need to have a space that is solely ours, where we can actually have our own time, and then you meet your family at certain time of the day, like you would if you were at work or at school. So this is one of the things that is helping quite a lot to cope with things.
And then, how are you feeling on a bad day when it really hits you and you digest what's happening in your region? Can you try and convey those dark moments for me?
It's surreal. You know, the majority of time you're thinking, this is not happening. This is just like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and this is just going to be a bad dream. Or, you know, sometimes I'm a librarian, and sometimes I feel like this is just a dystopic Stephen King novel that is happening. And then all of a sudden, you know, a friend phones up and says, my dad is in hospital and is intubated. And then you're going like, oh my God, it could be my dad. My dad was positive to coronavirus. He's been in hospital for about, oh God, 6 weeks. But he was very lucky because despite the fact that he's over 80s and he's asthmatic, he was lucky because his symptoms were very, very mild. So now he's been sent home last Saturday. It's a week now that he's been at home, and he's still in isolation from my mum. My mum is on one part of the house. He needs to use the other part of the house, and he's he's coping quite well, considering that he's an 80-year-old man. But every time we phoning families and someone is got a temperature, he's like, "Oh my God, you got a temperature, right? Phone the green number, phone people." And it's like you got this anxiety hitting you all the time and thinking, "Oh my God, am I going to ever see this person again?" And then the fact that, you know, because people that they're suffering from coronavirus, they need to be intubated. One of the things that makes me more sad is thinking that there are families that they're never going to see again, their people, and these people won't be able to say their last words before dying because of tubes that they are down their throat. And, you know, funerals are not held. People are not even buried anymore in the region because there is no space. Services can't cope with all this. It is a ridiculous, well, not a ridiculous situation. Is actually, I have to say, the government has been doing the best possible considering the situation, because it is not an easy situation. I consider myself lucky. My dad came out of it beautifully. I am safe. My family is safe. Nobody in my family has been hit. Although I have a friend that from my childhood that died 2 days ago.
I'm so sorry. From coronavirus.
Yeah, he was 52 like me.
I'm so sorry. What happened?
It's just he was one. I am originally from nearby Lodi, which is the original, the area that was hit the most, and basically before we realized that coronavirus was actually hitting the region, and before the government took measures to contain the situation, a lot of people ended up being in. A lot of people ended up not realizing that socializing was one of the things that was going to spread the virus. So the especially pensioners, they used to actually meet up at their little pensioners club in each village, playing cards, and you know how you do it. And this created a situation where the the there are villages where you have, you know, maybe 3,000 people, and
Roberta, sorry, can I
yeah.
just interrupt you there? Sorry,
Sure.
because we've got, sorry, I'm just going to ask you, I think we've got so much lovely stuff then. I'm ever so grateful. I'm just going to ask you one last question. Otherwise, we're going to have so much good stuff. It's going to be kind of overwhelming. But just a quick question, my love. You said earlier that you felt that children, in some cases, are you still there?
Yeah.
Something's just appeared on your face. Oh, hang on. What's happened? Is it? Oh, there. It's fine. Just a quick one. You said some children feel isolated and abandoned. We're kind of trying to focus on young people. Can you just tell me a bit more? I mean, what could the ramifications be on children from being in these situations? What could the ramifications be for children being in this situation for such a lengthy period of time, do you think?
I think children are very resilient, and children will pull out of this in a very, in a much, they will not have many scars as much as we will do. I think that the worry is far more onto the adults, onto people that they are living by themselves. Children will find the way of pulling through to this, because this is what children do. Children are resilient. Children are just optimistic by nature, and they will, although at the beginning they felt that it was a very scary situation. I think that one of the things that I would say to my colleagues in England is, please don't try to organize a lesson for your kids, but just be there. Remember pastoral care for kids, because this is the most important thing that we can offer right now. Being able to say to our kids, hey, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm okay. So that they can actually put together their little word again, and just, you know, although I'm not going out to go to school, school is coming to me, and this is my normality. And, you know, I had kids looking at me on video and saying, Mom, that's my Miss Roberta. And it's like, you know, it just brings tears to your eyes, but you realize how much they've missed you and how much their word has been shaken. So if I have a suggestion for the teachers in England that they've closed down on Friday is, please, whatever mean you have, remember to include all of your children. Remember that whatever mean you're choosing to talk to your kids, it needs to be something that is going through a phone, because we all have a phone. Don't expect people to have a computer or an iPad or the latest technology, but we all have a phone. So if you choose something that your kids can actually download as an app on their phone, that's all they need. They need to know you are there for them. They need to know that you are caring. For kids.
That's brilliant, Roberta. That's amazing. Sorry, you've said so much good stuff. I'm really, really grateful because we've got a deadline. I'm ever so sorry. I'm going to cut you short if that's all right. But
That's fine.
that was brilliant. Thank you so much. We're just going to get some reverse shots. So if you want to carry on talking to me while we just get some more shots. I'm so sorry to hear about your friend. That's terrible.
Yeah. You know, I had the news this morning of the father of a friend that died, and it's just what is scary now at the moment here is the silence that you can hear. You open your windows and it's dead silent. well, before you could hear traffic and everything is just completely insane. And also the only noises that you can hear are the bells, the church bells, which is nice, but the other noise is the ambulances. That's all the only two noises that you hear. And it's also, the country has been hit from a social point of view, and human beings are social animals, and it's very hard to be able to not socializing, because not socializing with people is insane. So what makes me smile really is to see how much we are finding a way of socializing regardless. At 12 o'clock every day, people are going into their balcony. Same things at 6 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, we playing music. So we all going onto our balcony, we're saying hello to each other from distance. And nowadays, I've discovered neighbors that I've never seen before. Yeah, there are people that they put boxes into their condominiums, and they put boxes of books and stuff so that they create a library, so that people can just go downstairs, grab a book, and then leave a note for their next door neighbor. There are little things like this that they are very important at the moment. At the moment, tonight, for example, with my friends, we're going to play a game, and it's called Concept, and it's a board game that you normally would play around the table. Well, we scanned the board, we created a PowerPoint, we got all the bits and pieces, and everybody downloads his own stuff, and sharing screen, we can show the board. It's complex, but at least it'll take our mind off things for a couple of hours, because we are all very scared. You're scared when you go into the supermarket, to the shop. You are scared when someone has to get out of the house. You're going like, oh my God. You're scared every time your phone rings, because you're seeing your dad calling and you're thinking, oh my God, I called you 10 minutes ago. What is going on? And, it's really, I have an uncle that is mentally disabled, and he lives in an institution, and he's 82. We haven't been able to visit him for 5 weeks. And obviously he has the age of a 5-year-old. He really doesn't understand what is going on and why is going on all this, So we're making sure that every other day, one of us in the family, me, my brother, my mom and dad, one of us is phoning every other day, and we're having a Skype conversation with him, so that he knows that we're still there. He knows that we are still thinking of him. The same treatment that we're giving to the children, is exactly the same thing. We want him to be able to feel that we are there. We haven't disappeared. It's not that because we don't physically go to see him that we don't think of him, we don't want to talk to him, or, we forgot about him. I think this is the most dangerous point, people feeling forgotten. It's a bit like during Christmas time, when people on their own feel that everybody else is jolly and merry with their families and they're abandoned. Well, I think that that's where the danger lies, in people that they're on their own, and especially elderly people that are a category of people that is particularly in danger, because they have conditions already, and coronavirus on top of a medical condition is mostly deadly. So I think that all these are very important, very, very important things that we need to be taking into consideration. I think the world will come out of this in a completely changed way. Teaching will be different, relationship will be different. The value that we place onto things will be different.
Yeah. More? Done? We're done. Roberta, thank you so much. Grazia.
That's all right.
You are amazing. You're doing such a good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When is it going to be broadcasted? I can tell my family in England.
Tonight, five. I think it's 5:15 UK time.
5:15 UK time on which program? BBC
BBC,
News.
yeah, BBC One on the BBC News.
BBC One, BBC News. Okay, thank you very much. Please
Okay.
send me the recording. I would love to have the final product.
Well,
Of
we
course,
will.
I'll send it to you. I'll email it to you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. And guys, keep safe, okay?
Yeah.
I know you're doing your job. Thank you for doing your job. I'm sure everybody's grateful, but keep safe. You're not in a safe country at the moment.
Yeah. Thank you, Roberta.
Thank you very much.
Buona giornata.
Buona
And
giornata.
to you. Ciao, bye.
Bye bye.